All right, what's going on, everybody? Davey Card Stacks here. Wanted to make a video about prospecting and investing in college football, particularly with Bowman University. This product has instantly become one of my favorites ever since it released in March. I love college football. I've just always been around it. And just, my favorite sport to watch in general, way more than the NFL. And so when this came out, I thought there was just huge opportunity to prospect and invest for either the college football season itself or the NFL draft. So I went very heavy on it. I don't rip. And so I was just buying singles constantly. I still am. And so I have a ton of guys that I've invested in, here and there, just to kind of, disperse myself throughout the market, but wanted to show you some of the guys that I buy at any moment that I see them, as long as the price is right. But these are kind of the guys that I'm a little bit heavier on, and I think that have some upside, just with either their price or just kind of position or where they are in the college football world and onwards. So gonna run through everything and just show you 6 guys that I've kind of pulled out here, and show you exactly why I'm into them, what price I'm buying them at, what my exit plan is, and everything that goes into my decision. So first up here, not from this year's set, but from last year's set, DJ Uiagalelei. So was at Clemson, and of course last year's set. This is unlicensed, so this is his first Bowman card. He is in Bowman's best, I think, and maybe Inception, but just a guy that I think just needed a change of scenery, and I think Oregon State was a quarterback away from really taking off last year. So I've been buying at his base autos, the number to 199 to 75, a gold shimmy, and then pick this up I think for like $10. So there is a little bit of risk with DJ, but I think some people have written him off, and I think that there's great upside. I don't think Oregon State's going to compete for the Pac-12 championship itself, but they're going to win 8-9 games maybe. They've got their running back was like freshman of the year last year. I think there's just some potential there. So his stuff is relatively affordable. That's how I've kind of gotten some of these cards. So someone to look out for sure. Got some Domani Jackson, so a very highly rated guy out of the class of 2022, I believe. Had some injuries, and they did bring in some other guys. They brought in Christian Roland Wallace from Arizona, and I think another transfer maybe from Alabama, but his stuff is super cheap. I've got a ton of stuff on ComC as well that I need to ship home, but just some golds, his lava auto, blue, lava, and base auto. I think there is some risk here, but he's still projected to be a top pick in 2025. I know we're still 2 years out from that, but a guy that I do like, and I'll continue to buy at his prices. I think he's worth kind of the gamble there. Just a highly rated guy at a matter day, and a ton of upside. Next here, I'll go with Dallas Turner. So he is a outside linebacker for Alabama, and I've been picking up some of his stuff. I just won a gold lava auto for I think like $22, $23 shipped. I've got some stuff from ComC as well, but a guy that I do really like. Unfortunately on his card, he's offensive linebacker instead of outside linebacker, but got a gold, green auto, base auto, a couple of those, couple of lavas, orange shimmy, true orange, more lava, and base. So he's projected to be a top 5 pick at, I guess, the high end, a top 10 pick. I feel like at worst. He's in all the mock drafts, been buying into him super heavy. I think he's just going to be one of those outside linebacker edge guys that really start to take off. And so I think he's going to be kind of that Will Anderson of this year. So somebody that I'm buying into. I'm going to hold out for the draft on this guy. I guess with DJ, I think maybe if they can start, ranked somewhere in the season, 6-0, like an 8-2 start, I think that would be a good exit strategy there. Maybe if they get a decent bowl game, that would be nice. Dallas, we're going to wait till the very end, till the draft. So a guy that I'm pretty heavy on, and been buying some of his nicer stuff as well. Another SEC defensive player here, Mason Smith. So got purple, gold shimmy, some yellows, lava, gold, and a yellow. He tore his ACL, I think, in the first half of the first game last year versus Florida State, and he's still projected to be like a top 15 pick this year. So he's not even played in almost 2 years now, and hopefully he stays healthy. But a very high projection for him, and should be a good prospect going into the season. So his stuff is very cheap. I probably pick up these yellows color matches for $8, golds maybe like 15, the purples and the purple shimmies you can probably get for like $4 or $5 a piece. So guy that I really like, and I'll probably hold him until the draft as well. Another quarterback here, Cameron Ward, probably the guy that I have the most of. Base autos, refractor autos, lava autos, blue, yellow, gold shimmy, and orange here. He's very cheap, and he's not going to be a guy that I double up my money on, but I think that there's potential. He put up stupid numbers at Incarnate Word, transferred to Wazoo. They'll win 7-8 games maybe. But, his stuff has just been cheap. In a hobby box, you get 2 color, a purple shimmer, and 2 autos. And, I pick up a blue for $4. Like, that was someone's hit out of a $130, $40, $50 hobby box. So that's kind of my thought process when I do pick up some of this cheap stuff. I think there's upside to it. So for me, I do have all this posted on my eBay. So if you do kind of want to see where I expect the ceiling to go, I listed everything on my eBay to where that's the price that I want. I'm obviously getting in at a lower price, but that's kind of my ceiling. So if you do want to kind of do some prospecting for college football, take a look at my Bowman University on my store, and that's, I'm going to be above comps on basically everything, but that's kind of my exit strategy, my exit price. So if you do see something, that is on eBay for sale elsewhere, and I have it on my store, that's kind of where I project or where I want to end up selling it. So I think Cam Ward is kind of one of those guys. He could be a sneaky play for the draft. I have seen him as kind of maybe a top 10 quarterback prospect. So we'll see how the NFL views him. And then the last guy that I am probably the most heavily invested in, Bo Nix. So he does not have a first. He was in last year's set when he was at Auburn, unlicensed, but this year with Oregon, he had a great year last year. He's got a ton of hype with him already. And so I don't think that the no first on this year has too much of a significance in his value. I think the licensing and him having a good year at Oregon really helps. So these teal waves, probably $10, blue, probably about 15, and then some of his nicer stuff, gold. I probably picked that up for like 40. I've been picking up the greens for 20, 40. Yellow auto, I picked this up for 75. I have it listed for 150. I sold, I think, a lava auto, one of his bigger autos that I flipped pretty nice, I think from like 70 to 150, then just a couple more greens. So definitely the most money in him. I think he's got a huge amount of upside, and he's got, some cool color matches as well. People are saying he's a first-round pick next year, and scout. You'll see every now and then. Scouts are enamored by him. We'll see. I don't know if I necessarily buy into the hype, but I think his prices are pretty solid for me to get some of his bigger cards. And so probably several hundred here. But a guy that I do think that the hype is going to be there for him in a year. I don't necessarily Am I over leveraged him? Probably. I don't necessarily think he is that great of a quarterback, but I think there's still a lot of hype around him that I'm buying into in anticipation for the draft, for the season. I don't think they're going to compete for a national title. They'll compete for the North, or there's no divisions anymore. So they'll compete for the Pac-12. I don't think they'll be in the playoff hunt. Maybe they will. I don't know what their non-conference looks like, but a guy that I am very heavily invested in. I don't think the first logo, has a huge impact on him, but I do think that there's definitely something to his cards and licensing and just that hype in general. So if you enjoyed this Bowman University and college football prospecting type of video, let me know if you want to see more. Again, I am heavily invested in Bowman University. I have way too many. I've never gone this deep into a product, but it's just something, one, that's fun for me. I like gambling on college football, and I like cards. This is a good mix, and I just enjoy it. It's fun for me, but also I think it's just a cool opportunity, plenty of opportunity for the college football season and the NFL draft. So again, if you enjoyed, let me know. If you want to see these videos, I would love to talk more about Bowman University if people are interested. So we'll let the views, decide that, and we'll see you in the next video.